Let me show you a CI/CD pipeline in GitHub Actions. GitHub Actions is one of the most popular CI/CD tools, and it is pretty awesome. And just to demystify how complicated it can be or not be, I just want to show you a quick example, because as a QA automation engineer, you should be learning CI/CD. And in this one, I'm just going to just keep it high level, right? So this is a pipeline. You've probably seen screenshots like this. Also zoom out, you can see a bunch of stages and a bunch of jobs. If I zoom in, so the first job, the first stage, a lot of jobs, right? There's a build job, a security scan, some linting and things like that. All those jobs will run. If they all pass, the next stage will happen, the continuous delivery, right? It's not delivered to production yet, but the idea is to keep delivering it somewhere and finally production. So you have a bunch of jobs, they all run. Then once they all pass, the next job run. In this case, there's only one job on the next stage, deployed to dev. So the code is deployed to dev environment, development environment. Then we have a health check, right? Make sure everything is, after it's deployed, it's running and everything is good. Then we have automation. That's where we come in the picture, right? QA automation engineers. Then we run automation and on and on. Then after the automation pass, we deploy it to a staging environment. After the staging environment, we're going to do more health check. Just make sure the staging is up. Once the staging is up, we do more regression testing. When the regression is done, it all passed, we deploy it to production environment. So that is what it looks like. And how does this get created, right? Where are this defined in the code? So if I just go to the code of this repository, right? This is one of my portfolio projects. You have a folder called GitHub. You just create a folder .github, actually specifically .github. In there, you create a folder called workflows. Inside of workflows, you can have as many CI/CD or workflows. So, and you have a YAML file. YAML, right? That's the way you configure the CI/CD pipelines. So in this YAML file, this is the part you're going to learn. When you're learning how to create CI/CD pipelines, you're going to learn the syntax or the format of what goes inside of this configuration. This is how you really create the pipeline. So this pipeline you see here, this CI/CD pipeline you see here is created by this YAML file, CI/CD pipeline.yaml. The name doesn't matter, just the extension. Okay. Now here you have to learn the syntax, but it starts out with when is this going to run? In this case, we're going to run it every time the code is pushed to one of those branches or a pull request is created to one of those branches. Then we have, a bunch of configuration, and you have the jobs. You have jobs here, right? And you list them. Build, security scan. Remember those jobs here? We have build, security scan, right? We just start listing the jobs. Inside of the jobs, all the steps, whatever needs to happen. If we scroll down here, all the other jobs, let's look at the automation ones. Deploy to dev job, health check job, and then the front-end dev. Right? This is basically the automation is running some Java tests. So you take this YAML file and you convert it to the CI/CD automatically. So I just want to give you a demo of CI/CD. My name is Armas Kunfu. I'm a software engineer in test, and I teach QA automation or software engineering test. So make sure you check out the links in the description, in the comment, or the bio. And if you need help, let me know.